All right, y'all. Ervits assessment. How's it going, y'all? All right, guys. If you, as a reminder, if you could always like, comment, subscribe, and share, I'd greatly appreciate it. All right. So now it's time to get down to business. All right. So if you guys remember, we had UFC Fight Night, Hall versus Silva. This was Anderson Silva's possible last fight, and also with boxing, it was Gervonta Davis against Leo Santa Cruz. Now, I made 5 predictions, and I got all 5 right this week. That's right, 5-0. Perfect thing. So let's go into that. All right. So the first fight that I went over was in the middleweight division. It was Kevin Holland. Now he was supposed to fight this guy Muradov, but I guess he pulled out last minute. So either way, I would still have Holland to win because I do not know Charlie Ontiveros, who he fought. So I still would pick Holland because to me Holland has looked really good this year. He was on a 3-fight win streak for 2020, so he was looking to become the first fighter this year in the UFC roster to get 4 wins, and he did get it. It's kind of weird how it happened. The first round, he picks up Ontiveros and slams him on the mat, and I don't know. There was not really movement going on, but the ref goes and says, "Stop, stop, stop," and I guess the way Holland had said in the interview, I guess Ontiveros landed on his neck or something, and just I don't know. Maybe he pinched the nerve. I don't know. We really don't know. I never really found out an update as to what's going on. He had movement in his extremity, so that's a good sign, but not really sure as to what happened. But that was a great victory for Holland. Quick work. He wants to fight again. He said he maybe like this month, November, he wants to fight. So, and he wants a top guy, a top 15 guy, and I think he should. I mean, so like I said, he's on 4. He won 4 fights this year, 2020. It's always last minute replacement, so he wants somebody that's going to be more stable and there, and I think they should give it to him. I mean, that was a good, impressive performance. All right. So that was the first one. The second one was in the heavyweight division. Remember, I had said I thought Greg Hardy would beat Maurice Green, and he did. So first round, it was just standing. But in the second round, Hardy hits him with a lead left, drops Green, hits him, gets him with some ground and pound, fight over there. Green didn't like the stoppage. He was complaining about it, but I mean, he was hurt. He wasn't defending himself, so it was a good stoppage there by the ref. Greg Hardy wins. Again, I'm not really a fan of the guy. He doesn't look like he's improved that much in his career, though, I mean, again, he did come over from football, so he is learning. I guess maybe a top 15 guy for him, just to see how he'll fare there, but he really hasn't looked that impressive to me, but we'll see. All right. So in the co-main event, remember I had said I thought Bryce Mitchell, who's number 15 ranked, was fighting Andre Fili. And Mitchell won by unanimous decision, and he just basically worked Andre Fili. He was just taking him to the ground, constantly looking for submission, hit him with a little bit of ground and pound. Fili did great. He was constantly defending, he popping up, he would use some force to get up from being on the ground. A lot of times you don't see fighters doing that, but he did, and it was impressive on him to fight back, but he just could not hang with Bryce Mitchell. So Mitchell, Thug Nasty, gets his victory again. He's again number 15 ranked, so maybe it was a good test for him because Fili's an experienced guy. He's young, so it's a good stepping stone for him, and see how he goes. I mean, again, they maybe put him against a number 14 or 13 ranked guy and see how he fares there. So that was impressive. So we'll see more of it with Mitchell. And in the main event, in the middleweight division, you had former champ, legend Anderson Silva fighting number 10 ranked Uriah Hall. Now, remember, I had picked Uriah Hall to win this fight because, again, I thought Anderson's way past his prime. He was on a massive losing streak. I just didn't think he would do it, and he couldn't. So the first couple rounds, they were both feeling each other out. In the third round, Hall does get Silva, drops him, tries to go for some ground and pound, but there wasn't that much time left. And so, it looked like, all right, this fight's going to end in the next round. And it did. Silva comes forward, tries to throw a bunch of punches at Hall. Hall just kind of steps back with a counter. Boom! Drops Silva, hits him with some ground and pound. Fight over. TKO victory for Uriah Hall. They were embracing each other because, the thought is amongst the whole circle, and even Dana White says he does not want Anderson Silva back. He should retire. And I think Anderson should retire. He's a legend in the sport. If you new to MMA, do yourself a favor and watch Anderson Silva's highlights. Watch his fight. The guy's an absolute legend. He was a monster. I mean, he's kind of tarnished his legacy. He did test positive for steroids, though in the latter portion of his career, so it kind of is an asterisk because people are like, did he use this earlier in his career? Again, I'm not too sure because, again, he never tested positive then. It was only after he had that foot injury against Weidman and to kind of recover, and I think it was after with the fight with Nick Diaz too. But again, it's if you're new to MMA or you just don't know about Anderson Silva, do yourself a favor. Trust me, watch this guy. He's been an idol for a lot of these fighters, up and coming fighters. I mean, his striking was insane. He had jiu-jitsu. I mean, one of his best performances was against Chael Sonnen. He was losing the fight in the 5th round, gets a submission victory. I mean, just do yourself a favor and watch. I hope he does retire. He just hasn't looked good. He's 45 years old. Just enjoy life. You're a legend. Don't tarnish your legacy. Just be there. For Hall, I think maybe like Derek Brunson or maybe another one of the top 7 through, well, he's number 10, so number 7 through 9 guys. See him how he tests. I mean, he's 36, so he knows he needs to push it now. And, you know, with Adesanya moving up to light heavyweight, you know, there's a chance to someone, I don't know if he'll vacate the title, but it's a chance for Hall to, you know, make a name for himself there. All right, but the fight I was looking really towards was in boxing. It was, I think it was at 130 pounds. It was Gervonta Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz. Now, there were 2 belts on the line. This was a great fight from the beginning, right away. They just came out, Santa Cruz throwing jabs, Davis throwing jabs, and it was just right. There was just so much action right away. I had it through the 5th round. I had it Tank up 3 rounds to 2. Again, it was a close fight, but man, in the 6th round, this is where it just got brutal. I mean, Santa Cruz is back against the ropes, and he's kind of throwing three punches straight, kind of sloppy, and Tank just unleashes perfect timing with a left uppercut, cracks Santa Cruz. I mean, he was out cold before he hit the floor. It was actually quite scary because he was down for a while, and we were all kind of worried that, you know, maybe he had, you know, suffered a serious injury. Thankfully, he didn't, but he was out on the floor for a while. I mean, this was just a monster uppercut. This might be the knockout of the year in boxing. You know, I'll have a replay for you guys so you guys can see it. I mean, it was just absolutely beautiful the way Tank Davis did. This now moves him to 24-0 with 23 knockouts. This was his first pay-per-view fight. You know, Floyd Mayweather is grooming him to be his next star, his protege. And with a performance like that against Leo Santa Cruz, now mind you, Leo Santa Cruz had been knocked down once, though shouldn't have counted because he got hit with a rabbit punch. This was earlier in his career. Other than that, you're talking about a guy that's very durable, that doesn't get dropped. And he was out cold. Cold, I'm telling you. It was Tank Davis is somebody to watch out for. There's another boxing fight I'll go over this weekend also. But there's these young guys, and they're starting to, you know, make a name for themselves, and I really hope that they're all going to start fighting each other. Teofimo Lopez, you know, a couple weeks ago. Tank Davis here. The fight I'll go over this weekend. Devin Haney, if he wins. I mean, you have these young guys that look like they're the future, and hopefully these guys will fight each other because that's what boxing needs. That's what boxing has been missing. All right, so we're going to go into this weekend's fight card. It's going to be in the light heavyweight division. It's going to be Thiago Santos versus Glover Teixeira. So there's going to be 4 fights I'm going to go over in that, and then I'm going to go over the boxing fight for you guys as well. All right. So the first fight will be in the women's strawweight division. It'll be number 3 ranked Claudia Gadelha against number 8. Actually, number 4 ranked Claudia Gadelha against number 8 Yan Xiaolan. Now, Gadelha is coming off a 2-fight winning streak. Her last win was a split decision victory against Angela Hill. Hill didn't like the way the decision went. It's close. It was a really close fight. Could have honestly went either way. Jan is on a 10-fight winning streak. Her last victory was unanimous decision against Karolina Kowalkiewicz. I got Jan winning this fight. I have her pulling the upset and beating Claudia Gadelha. Gadelha, I mean, she's looked okay. Just hasn't looked that good. I mean, honestly, I think she was at her peak when she was fighting Joanna Jędrzejczyk for the title and couldn't get it done. Just kind of tapered off a little bit. She looked like she was getting a little bit better, but I think she's going to meet her match here. I think probably it'll go to a decision there, but I think John will win that fight. All right, the next fight will be in the middleweight division. It will be number 15 ranked Ian Haney against Brendan Allen. Haney won his last fight by TKO versus Gerald Meerschaert, while Allen won a unanimous decision against Kyle Daukaus and is on a 7-fight winning streak. He's young. Both guys are young, you know. Haney's been there, you know, he's 32, so he's making a run. But I'm going to go with the upset here. I'm going to get Brendan Allen. He's 24. He's looked impressive. So again, on a 7-fight winning streak. It's more kind of like striker, grappler, Allen being the grappler. I think Allen's going to win this fight. Should be good. That should move him to number 15. And, you know, at 24 years old, if he wins and to be number 15 ranked, it's pretty impressive there. So I got him winning that fight there. Next, in the co-main event, which is in the heavyweight division, we got former champ back in 2005, Andrei Arlovski. Yes, he's still fighting against Tanner Boser. Now, Arlovski, he's coming off a victory against Felipe Lins by decision. And then Boser's on a 2-fight winning streak. His last victory was a TKO win against Rafael Pessoa. Arlovski, 41. I think he's 41. Again, he was a champ back in 2005. Boser's looked pretty good at heavyweight. I got Tanner Boser winning this fight. Arlovski, I don't know. I mean, I think the dude should retire. A lot of these aging veterans, they just want to keep it in with heavyweight being a thin division. I think that's why a lot of guys are still hanging around at that age. But I got Tanner Boser winning that fight. And in the main event, this has possible title implications here. It's in the light heavyweight division. It's number 1, Thiago Santos against number 3, Glover Teixeira. Now, Thiago Santos lost his last fight about a year and a half ago against John Jones. Now, he tore both of his knees in that fight. I mean, he was basically fighting on like half a leg, and still lost, but it was still a split decision, you know, for Jones. Jones did not look impressive there. Honestly, if Santos was healthy and had both legs, I think he possibly could have won that fight. So this is huge for him, but this is his first fight back from those major surgeries. So, you know, it's always dicey to see how a guy like that will recoup and come back from the first fight. And he's not fighting a softie. He's fighting Glover Teixeira. Now, Glover Teixeira might be an older guy, but this dude's on a 4-fight winning streak. Okay, his last victory was a TKO victory over Anthony Smith. And Glover knows this is possibly his last chance at a title. So he's gonna push forward. And if I were him, I would go after Thiago Santos' legs, because you don't know how he's going to react. I mean, dude had major surgery on both legs. So, you know, it will be interesting, but I have Thiago Santos winning that fight. Again, he looked like a straight killer before this. Again, the Jones fight, if he didn't have those 2 injuries on his legs, I think he would have won. I mean, there was even an argument that he did win that fight. Okay, and that's impressive with a guy who basically was fighting on half a leg. So I'm going to go with Thiago Santos there. And again, now they're going to have to wait, whoever wins this fight, because they were initially going to get the title shot against Jan Blachowicz, which was the champ, who just won it against Dominic Reyes. But, and this is going to be huge, Israel Adesanya is moving up from middleweight and going to challenge Jan for the light heavyweight title. So these guys are going to have to take a back seat for a while. They might fight the winner of that fight, might fight the winner of this fight, or if Izzy wins, John Jones, because him and Izzy have a lot of beef. Well, there. So it's going to be interesting to see where it will all take place. But I truly believe the winner of this fight, this main event, will get the title shot against either Izzy or Jan, whoever wins that fight. All right. And in boxing, we got in the lightweight division. Now, this is a rising. He's young. He's up and coming. He looks great. One of my friends, Leonard, had told me about this kid years ago. Told me, hey, watch for this kid, Devin Haney. He's 21 years old. Amazing, undefeated fighter. Now, he doesn't have that knockout power like Davis or Teofimo Lopez, but he does have power and he does have a lot of skill. He's fighting Yuriorkis Gamboa. Now, if you remember, Gamboa lost his last fight to Tank Davis in the 12th round by TKO, where Devin Haney is. Haney won his last fight by unanimous decision against Alfredo Santiago. Now, he's the WBC champ. Again, that was the whole thing I was telling you before. Remember, where Lopez is the franchise champion and Haney has the regular belt. Again, this boxing situation with belts is very odd to see, but Haney will be defending that WBC belt. I have him winning this fight. I don't think Gamboa can do it. Again, it's a name. It's good for Haney because, again, he's 20 young. He's young. This is a good name with somebody with experience. Gamboa's been in there with the best. So this is a good test for Haney. I think Haney will win the fight. If he could stop him and even earlier than the 12th round, that's even more impressive for a guy like that. But I think Haney will retain his WBC belt. And, you know, if he wins, and I'm hoping he does, again, this is where you're talking about. You have him, you have Tank Davis, again, who just won. You have Teofimo Lopez, who just won a couple weeks ago. And then there's another guy, Ryan Garcia. Now, if these guys can all win, if Garcia's, I think, fighting in December. If Haney wins and Garcia wins, you got this mixture of 4 guys all in that same division that could possibly fight each other and prove who is the king, who will possibly be that next pound-for-pound star in boxing, the new Floyd Mayweather. So, you know, I got Haney winning that fight. Like I said, I'd like to see a TKO victory early. I think it would be really impressive, but I think he'll probably win by unanimous decision there. All right, guys. So my picks for this weekend are, remember, 5 picks there. I got Jean beating Gedalia in the strawweight division. I got Brendan Allen beating Ian Heinisch. I got Tanner Boser beating Andrei Arlovsky. I got Thiago Santos in the main event beating Glover Teixeira. And I got Devin Haney beating Yorkis Gamboa in boxing. All right, guys. Remember, if you guys can please like, comment, and share, and subscribe to the Ervits assessment, that would be great. Love you guys. All right, peace.